What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Javon Sugar Hill. Get this, Javon Sugar Hill has invited Anthony Joshua to train at his gym with Tyson Fury before his rematch with Alexander Usyk. Joshua invoked his rematch clause instantly with the Ukrainian, who he lost his belts to in September, with a potential bout expecting to be confirmed either March or April of 2022. The Brit, who relinquished his WBA, WBO, and IBF titles to relative ease at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in September, has visited several possible new trainers in America. In an interview with an Australian news outlet, Fury surprisingly offered to train Joshua for the rematch to get him to fight like a big man. Joshua admitted himself that he would be keen for the idea, provided he takes no money for it, as he prepares for one of the biggest fights of his life. And speaking to Talk Sports, trainer Stewart insisted that getting Joshua and the Gypsy King into the ring is something he would not been adverse to at all. He says, you look at the situation here, Stewart told Fight Night. You have any other sport, right? You have basketball, you have football, you have soccer, you have American football. He said, you got guys that are friends or very competitive champions, and you see people now put together teams. They're putting teams together, dream teams, or things like that. As far as basketball or football or any other kind of sport like that, these guys are joining up with each other, playing for the same team to be successful. Wow. Of course, we know the backstory between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. They had 6 months of negotiation that fell through due to the arbitration of Deontay Wilder, and of course, things don't go to plan. Okay, so these guys were once upon a time going to fight each other, but now the significance of this video is, yes, Tyson Fury mentioned that, right? But we didn't know what Javon Sugar Hill thought about it, right? And he's open to the idea. He wants to put together a dream team to beat the Ukraine. It's almost like America and the UK are coming together to fight Ukraine, right? Because the wrong guy really lost the belt. And let me talk about the financial benefits of that. If they can get Anthony Joshua in there and give him pointers how to fight big and tall and win a fight against Alexander Usyk, then they could go back to the negotiating table and get that fight for millions, because now it would mean more, because Joshua had to go through, once again, fire to get back to where he was before all this happened, before the defeat, right? So I think they're all looking at it because they know, well, hey, I'm going to commence training Tyson Fury when he beats Usyk, so we don't have to worry about that at all, when we just need to focus on White, get White out of there, and then we'll have our mega fight, and then everybody can eat off the table of prosperity, right? But what happens in that situation? Things don't go to plan, right? So who's to say if they do this and Joshua, accepts this, but he does it for no money? And that's another thing I'm going to touch. But imagine he does that and Tyson Fury loses. Just food for thought, you know what I mean? So it's crazy to hear that, but but he had the comparison with other sports, and it makes sense. A lot of times people help each other out. I just can't help but think about Rocky III, when Rocky got knocked out by Clubber Lang, right? So, and then here comes Apollo, the same guy that was the rival in 1 and 2, and they're classic fights together. And then that was that one fight that they didn't even televise. But anyhow, I feel that that's financially driven, because if they can help, Joshua's the cash cow. You don't believe me? Watch him get more money than Alexander Usyk on the rematch, just like he did with Andy Ruiz. A lot more. He's the cash cow, believe it or not. Love it, like it, or hate it. He is the cash cow of the heavyweight division. He will generate more money People like to see him. That's why that damn interview went viral. Views don't lie. People do. Right? So I think that's a way to get him or get them back on track, but it only shows you like, hey, when fights are being made, don't hinder them, don't stop them, because you never know what could happen at the end. I think they should have fought each other by now, and then Usyk would have fought Joshua and probably took all the belts if Joshua would have beat him, granted, right? Because Tyson Fury, might have beat Joshua. So that's kind of a 50-50 fight to me. Okay, so, but it is interesting to hear Javon Sugar Hill do that and make that suggestion and be open like that. You know what I mean? Because Anthony Joshua is still looking for, more trainers, and he's been impressed with the guys that he's seen, Robert Garcia and Ronnie Shields and all that. But, Javon Sugar Hill, I wonder what he could add to the pot of Anthony Joshua. What could he do with him? So that is an interesting thing to know, but I do think it's financially driven at the end of the day. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Javon Sugar Hill Stewart, open to the idea of Anthony Joshua training at his gym, getting him prepared for Alexander Usyk with Tyson Fury. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.